The walls are screaming. But what are they saying? The closing papers felt heavy in my hand, heavier than they should have. Keys to my first house. Mine. A ridiculous grin stretched across my face, fighting against the knot of anxiety in my stomach. 11 Ravenwood Drive. It was a fixer-upper, all right. More like a faller-downer. Sat on the market for 2 years, apparently. But I saw potential. Character. It was a living, breathing antique. The floors groaned like an old man getting out of bed, and the wallpaper was peeling like sunburnt skin. Charm, I told myself. It had charm. The first few weeks were a whirlwind of unpacking and furniture arranging. I loved the light in the living room, the way the afternoon sun slanted through the dusty windows. I ignored the way the back door stuck, the way the attic stairs creaked like they were about to give way. Little things. Every old house has them. Then I saw it. A stain. On the living room wall, near the baseboard. Dark. Almost black. Like oil? I touched it. Slick. A cold dread bloomed in my chest. It hadn't been there yesterday. Water damage, I muttered, trying to reassure myself. Old pipes, leaky roof. It was a plausible explanation. I called a plumber. Earliest appointment? 3 weeks out. Fantastic. So I tried to clean it. Every cleaner I could find. Bleach, ammonia, those citrus-scented all-purpose sprays that promised to obliterate anything. Nothing worked. The stain just smudged, spread. The dark seeped deeper into the plaster. And then the smell started. Rotten. Metallic. Like old blood. I'd open the windows, blast air freshener, even bought one of those fancy ozone generators. It would mask the stench for a few hours, maybe a day, but it always came back. That cloying, disgusting odor that clung to everything. My clothes, my hair, the furniture, the house reeked. My appetite vanished. I started sleeping with the windows open, even though it was October and getting cold. The unease was a constant companion now. It sat with me at breakfast, followed me as I drove to work, and waited for me when I came home. And then came the noises. At first I dismissed them. Settling, I told myself. Old houses settle. But these weren't the creaks and groans of wood adjusting to the temperature. These were scratches. Faint, almost imperceptible, coming from inside the walls. And thumps. Soft, muffled thumps, like something shifting its weight. Mice. It had to be mice. I bought traps. Snap traps, glue traps, those humane ones where you catch them and release them miles away. I put them everywhere. Kitchen, basement, attic, along the baseboards in every room. I even tried that ultrasonic pest repeller thing. Nothing. The stains kept spreading. The smell intensified. The scratching continued. And the thumps were getting louder, more frequent. One afternoon, I was lying on my bed, trying to distract myself with a movie when I saw it. The stain. On the wall beside my bed. Right there, in broad daylight, a dark, oily patch spreading like a disease. That was it. I snapped. I marched to the closet, grabbed the hammer from my toolbox. My hands were shaking, adrenaline pumping through my veins. I was going to fix this. I was going to find the source of this infestation. I went to the wall in my bedroom, the one with the spreading stain, took a deep breath, closed my eyes, and swung the hammer. The plaster crumbled. Dust filled the air. I swung again, and again. The hole widened, revealing the lath beneath, thin strips of wood that held the plaster in place. Another swing. The lath splintered. And then I saw it. Behind the crumbling surface, in the hollow space between the wall studs, something pale. Something human. I swung the hammer again, driven by a primal fear, widening the hole until I could see it clearly. A face. A man's face. Slumped forward, his head resting against the inside of the wall. His flesh was pale, almost translucent. His eyes were wide open, frozen in a silent scream. I screamed too. A raw, animalistic sound that tore from my throat. I stumbled backward, dropping the hammer, my legs refusing to hold me. I scrambled for my phone, my fingers fumbling with the buttons. 911. I don't remember much after that. The sirens, the flashing lights, the police officers swarming through the house. It was a blur. A nightmare. They found more. A lot more. The man who lived in the house before me, he wasn't just some harmless old recluse. He was a monster. A serial killer. More than 15 victims. Men. All of them. He'd walled them up, hidden them inside the walls, packed them into the crawl spaces under the floors, stuffed them in the attic, like sick, twisted trophies. The police said the killer himself had sold me the house. He'd been living out of state and wanted to get rid of the property. He hadn't even tried to hide anything, just gotten away with the murder. That meant I'd met him, talked to him, shook his hand. They caught him, eventually, tracked him down to some rundown motel in Nevada. But it didn't matter. Nothing mattered. I couldn't stay in that house. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't breathe. I saw the faces of the dead men every time I closed my eyes. I smelled the rot. I heard the scratching. I moved out within a week. Abandoned everything. The furniture, the dishes, the clothes, everything. I couldn't take it with me. It was all contaminated. But the smell followed me. Lingered in my clothes, clung to my hair. I showered for hours, scrubbed my skin raw, but it wouldn't go away. The metallic tang of death. And the memory of those walls. Weeping dark secrets. I still have nightmares. I still wake up in a cold sweat, convinced I can hear the scratching, see the stains spreading on the walls. Sometimes, I think I can still smell it. I don't know if those walls will ever stop leaking. I don't know if they'll ever be clean, and I don't ever want to find out.